travel in a machine. You time travel the way everyone eventually does. You wake up one morning and the mirror has been replaced with a stranger. You are 45 years old. Your net worth is zero. Not almost zero, not technically. I have some equity somewhere. Zero. The checking account says $0. The savings account doesn't exist. The retirement account is a joke. You stopped telling yourself 5 years ago when you looked at it and it said $0 too. Your back hurts. Not from a workout, from sleeping. The act of lying down for 7 hours has become physically demanding. You sit up and your knee makes a sound. Not a pop, a click, like a pen running out of ink. That sound is your body telling you it is no longer interested in being 25. The problem is that your bank account never got the message either. You walk to the kitchen. The coffee is store brand. The mug has a chip in it. You've had this mug since you were 31. It was a gift from someone whose name you now have to search for in your phone. You open your banking app, not because you expect anything to have changed, because the ritual is the thing. You open it, the way some people check the weather. It is not hope. It is just the first thing you do. The number is the same. $0. Happy birthday. You are 45. The race just started, and you are standing at the line with no shoes. You have 20 years until 65. That is not a poetic deadline. That is the age where the math either works or it doesn't. The age where your body has fully decided what it will and won't do for money. 20 years. The length of a childhood, the span of a career someone else already built. 20 years is a long time. If you are 22, it is a blink. If you are 45, you are 45. Rule 1. At 45 with nothing, your first job is not to build wealth. Your first job is to stop the bleeding. You cancel everything. Subscriptions you forgot you had. The gym membership you haven't used since February. The streaming service you kept for one show, and the show ended in 2019. The premium version of an app you don't even open. You stop the automatic withdrawals, the way a surgeon stops internal bleeding. You don't think about it. You don't negotiate with yourself about whether you deserve the ad-free tier. You don't deserve the ad-free tier. You deserve to not be 45 with $0. Those two things are in conflict. You pick one. You sell things, not things you love, things you own, an old laptop, a bike you haven't ridden in 3 years, a leather jacket from a version of yourself that no longer exists. You sell them on Facebook Marketplace to strangers who haggle over $5. The transactions are humiliating and clarifying. Every item you carry to a stranger's car is a funeral for a past decision. You do it anyway. You net $1,740. That is your first deposit. That is the first number that moves in the right direction. You stare at the receipt for an embarrassing amount of time. You are 45 years and 3 days old. This is what a start looks like. Month 1. You find a job, not a career. A job. The kind of job you thought you had graduated from 15 years ago. You manage inventory at a warehouse on the edge of the city. The hours are 6 a.m. to 2 p.m. The floor is concrete. The air is dry and smells like cardboard and forklift exhaust. You stand for 8 hours. Your back does not thank you. But the job pays $22 an hour. You do the math on your phone during your 15-minute break. 0.22 times 40 hours times 52 weeks. Minus taxes. The number is $3,140 a month. That is the foundation. You don't complain. Complaining is a luxury for people with time. You have no time. You have 20 years. You take a second job, weekends and 3 evenings a week, delivery driving, groceries. Mostly, you carry bags of organic kale and oat milk to doors of apartments you couldn't afford to live in. The tips average $6 per trip. You track every dollar. You become obsessed with the tracking. Not because tracking is fun, because tracking is the only thing that turns the chaos into something you can see. Month 6, you have saved $6,200. The number sits in a high-yield savings account at 4.6% API. The interest payment for the first month is $23.76. You laugh when you see it. Not a happy laugh. A laugh that says $23.76 is what a month of not spending looks like. But you don't stop. You don't stop because the 23.76 will be 24.01 next month if you don't touch it, and 24.01 will be something else the month after. You are learning what compounding actually is. It is not magic. It is patience in numerical form. You have not been a patient person. You are becoming one. Year 1, Age 46, you have $14,800 saved. You have no debt. You paid off the credit cards. You settled the old medical bill. You called the collections agency and negotiated a payment that was 40% of what they originally asked for. You learned that debt collectors buy your debt for pennies on the dollar, and any amount you offer above that is profit. You learned this at 1 a.m. on a website you found by searching how to not be broke at 46. You called the next morning. The woman on the phone was tired. You were tired. You agreed on a number. You paid it. That debt is dead. You killed it. Your day looks like this. Wake at 4:40 a.m. coffee. Warehouse from 6 to 2. Home by 2:35. Shower. 30 minutes of quiet. Then delivery, driving from 4:30 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. 3 weekdays. Weekends you drive from 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. You sleep 6 hours. You do not watch television. You do not scroll. You do not go out. Your social life is a text thread with one friend who still checks in. You reply in 2 words because typing more feels like spending energy you haven't budgeted. This is not a life anyone would envy. This is a life that is building something underneath the surface. The way roots grow in winter, you don't see them. You just trust they're moving. Year 2, age 47. Your savings hit $31,000. You open a Roth IRA. The contribution limit is $7,000. You put in the full amount. You invested in a total market index fund. Expense ratio 0.03%. You read about the expense ratio for 3 hours one night because you don't understand it, and you are terrified of getting it wrong. You don't get it wrong. You understand now that small percentages over long periods of time are the difference between a retirement and a disaster. You also open a taxable brokerage account. You put $5,000 in. Same index fund. You now have money in 3 places: a savings account for emergencies, a Roth IRA for retirement, a brokerage account for the years before retirement. You did not know these categories existed 2 years ago. You know them now. Year 3, age 48. The warehouse promotes you. You are now a shift supervisor. Your pay goes to $26 an hour. The raise adds $640 a month. You don't upgrade anything. The money goes directly into the brokerage account, automated. The day after payday, you never see it. That is the point. The delivery driving continues. You have now delivered groceries to the same neighborhood 214 times. You know, which houses tip, which ones don't, which apartment building has a broken elevator, and you factor that into your acceptance rate. You are turning your labor into data, and the data is turning into dollars. You have a scare in July. Your car needs a transmission repair. The quote is $2,900. 2 years ago, this would have been a catastrophe, a card, a payment plan, a hole you dig for years. Now, you open the emergency fund. You pay the $2,900. The fund drops from $12,000 to $9,100. You feel the loss, but you also feel something else. You feel the floor holding. You did not go into debt. The car is fixed. The machine keeps running. Year 5, age 50. Your net worth is $84,000. $52,000 in the brokerage with your $22,000 in the savings account. $10,000 in a 401k from the warehouse job. They match 4%. You contribute exactly 4%. You are not leaving free money on the table. That is the only way to think about it. 5 years, you went from 0 to 84,000. You are 50. The math is still terrifying, but the math is also moving. You check the accounts less often now. Not from disinterest, from trust. The system is working. The machine is running. Rule 2. The first 100,000 is a war. Every dollar after that is a negotiation. Your body has changed. You have lost weight, not from a diet plan, from standing 8 hours a day and carrying groceries upstairs. Your back still hurts, but differently. It is the hurt of use, not the hurt of stillness. You start running, not far, 2 miles on Sunday mornings. The first run, you stop 3 times. By month 3, you run the whole way. You are not becoming an athlete. You are becoming someone who can endure things. The running teaches the same lesson the saving teaches. Keep going. It doesn't matter how slow. Keep going. Year 7, age 52. You quit the delivery job. The brokerage account and Roth IRA combined have crossed $140,000. The savings account is at $30,000. The 401k is at $28,000. Total net worth, $198,000. You are $2,000 away from $200,000. You cross it on a Thursday in June. The S&P 500 had a good week. You did nothing. You let the market do what markets do. That is the shift. You are no longer the engine. The money is the engine. You take a certification course, supply chain management. It costs $1,200. You pay for it without hesitation. The course takes 6 months. You do it online at night, the same nights you used to deliver groceries. You are investing in yourself. Now, that is a phrase you used to hear and not understand. You understand it now. Your earning potential is an asset. You can upgrade it. Year 8, age 53. The certification gets you a job. Regional Logistics Coordinator. Salary, $68,000 a year. This is more money than you have ever made. Your first paycheck is $2,100 after taxes. You look at it the way you looked at the 8 years ago. Not with fear, with recognition. You know what this dollar can do now? You know where it goes? You know what it becomes if you don't spend it? You increase the 401k contribution to 10%. The Roth IRA is maxed every January. The brokerage account receives $800 a month automatically. You are saving 34% of your gross income. You live on the rest. The rest is enough. Your life has not expanded. Your future has. Year 10, age 55. The numbers. Brokerage and Roth IRA. 284,000.4. 1K 8100. Savings 35,000. Net worth 400,000. You have crossed a line, not a finish line. A line that separates panic from planning. You are no longer trying to catch up to a version of life that should have been. You are building the life that is. Your mother gets sick, not terminally, but the kind of sick that requires care, and the care costs money. You help. $6,000. It comes from the savings account. You do not resent it. Money is a tool. You have tools now. That is a difference between 45 and 55. At 45, the only tool you had was panic. Now you have a portfolio. Rule 3. Wealth is not the number. Wealth is the distance between a problem and a crisis. Year 12, age 57. The market has a bad year. Your portfolio drops 18%. You watch 400,000 become 328,000. You watch it the way you watched the transmission repair. It hurts. And it doesn't matter. You don't sell. You don't panic. You have been through dips before. The dip is the price of admission. The people who sold during the dip are the people who stay poor. You are not them anymore. You buy more index funds at a discount. The market recovers in 14 months. Your portfolio is higher than before. You have learned the lesson that took you 57 years to learn. Time in the market beats timing the market. You are finally a click. The click is true. Year 15, age 60, net worth $620,000. You have stopped working 2 jobs. You have stopped working 1 job. You are a consultant now. Supply chain. You charge $95 an hour. You work 25 hours a week. The rest of the time, you do things you forgot you liked. You read, you walk, you call people whose voices you missed. The money continues to grow without you. The accounts are approaching the point where they earn more per year than your expenses require. That point has a name. You call it the crossover. Some people call it financial independence. You just call it Tuesday because it arrived on a Tuesday. Year 18, age 63. Your net worth crosses $800,000. The consulting income is steady. Your expenses are low. You have not upgraded your life. You have upgraded your peace. You no longer check the accounts at all. Not because you don't care, because the machine is loud enough now that you can hear it without looking. You wake up. The money is there, whether you check or not. That is what wealth actually feels like. Not a number. Silence where anxiety used to be. Year 20, age 65. The day arrives you wake up in the same apartment you've had for 11 years. The coffee is still store brand. The mug still has a chip. You open the banking app, not from ritual, from curiosity. The numbers sit there quietly. Brokerage account, 497,000 Roth IRA, 231,000.4. 1K, 204,000. Savings 40,000 total, 972,000. You are not a millionaire. You are $28,000 short. You don't care. The number doesn't matter the way you thought it would. What matters is that 20 years ago you had nothing. Nothing. Not a dollar, not a plan, not a reason to believe anything was possible. And now you have enough. Enough to stop. Enough to breathe. Enough to help your family without breaking. Enough to die with dignity and live with something rarer than dignity. Freedom. You sit on your couch. The same couch you've had for 8 years. The cushions are worn. The left armrest has a stain from a coffee spill in 2019. You remember the spill. You were up late studying for the certification course. You were exhausted. You were building something you couldn't see yet. The stain is still there. The exhaustion is not. You think about the 45-year-old who woke up 20 years ago with $0 in the same apartment. Not the same apartment, literally, but the same apartment metaphorically. The one where the walls feel like they're closing in. The one where the silence of an empty bank account is the loudest sound you've ever heard. You want to tell him something. You want to hand him the spreadsheet. You want to show him the numbers and say, look at what 20 years of not stopping can do. Look at what happens when you stop bleeding and start breathing and then start running and then just keep going. But you can't tell him. He had to live it. The living was the point. Rule 4. The last rule. The money was never the goal. The money was just the scoreboard. The goal was becoming someone who could do the thing every single day without applause, without shortcuts, without anyone watching. The money is just the receipt. You close the app. You put down the phone. You walk outside. It is a Tuesday. You have nowhere to be. The rest of your life is a Tuesday morning with $972,000 and a body that still works and a mind that knows exactly what it survived. You are 65. You started at 45 with nothing. You are not a story of exceptional genius. You are a story of 20 years of showing up. That is the only story that was ever available. It is the only story that ever works. And somewhere, right now, there is a 45-year-old opening a banking app. His balance is $0. He is standing in a kitchen with a chipped coffee mug and a back that hurts for no reason. He thinks the race is over. He thinks the starting gun fired 20 years ago, and he missed it. He doesn't know yet that the race is still there, that it starts the second he decides. It starts that 20 years is enough, that the numbers work if he works, that the machine runs if he builds it. You want to tell him, but you can't. He has to live it. The balance is $0. It starts there. It always does.